I'm Julie Slater with 88.5, the SoCal Sound. I am here with the band Sports Team. I've got Alex Rice and also Rob Nags with me. You guys are a six-piece, so we got a fraction of you guys. You just performed some songs. The latest album is Gulp. Check it out. I guess my first question, why Sports Team? Was one of you a sports anchor or something I read? Is that true on the internet?
True. Yeah, Henry used to cover judo for CNN, actually, in the UK.
Oh, wow. Was that an influence on the band name? Or?
I don't think none of us are super sporty. I think it was more like the team dynamic to it that was key. But yeah, Henry used to work for CNN, but he covered the sort of all the very minor sports for I think he was desperate to do sort of football or tennis or something like that. But it was like, all right, it's the big judo meet. Here we go. I'm Henry Young reporting back from
Does he still do any on the side?
I think he's a bit of a hobbyist now.
Yeah,
he still does bits and pieces.
I think also we just like bands like Pavement. You know, there's kind of that American slacker California thing. We were like, oh yeah, sounds very anti-college, you know.
That is funny that you're not very sporty. But I was thinking, like, if it was up at a pub, like, oh, Sports Team live tonight. It's almost like free beer. Come get it.
I think it's that thing you talk about. Like the US, we like it because you do have that kind of college slacker thing, you know, sort of that they don't really have in the UK. But we think it's great.
So I was playing some of your music for my boyfriend, and I thought this was funny. We're driving, and he's like, "This kind of feels like circus, fun, upbeat music," and I thought. Just from what I read about you guys, I thought that would be something like you'd be like, hell yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, I think that's
like.
Right.
When did you guys join the circus? Because you guys are so fun, even though you deal with some heavy topics. I know this album, Gulp, is a lot about death, but you're just like always upbeat. How do you do it?
We seemed mega fun today. I think we've all been a bit like, oh, I'm so tired. How do we do it? I think because we want to be in a band to play live, basically, and that's what we like doing. And I think it's all the sounds have always come from playing live and what will work. And also, just we never necessarily knew how to use studios particularly well and stuff. And we're not trained musicians or anything like that. So a lot of it was just sort of distract from the fact we couldn't quite play a part or I couldn't really hit a note. I mean, my voice is quite abrasive at times, I think. So you do a dance and you do a sort of ringmaster thing and people talk about that rather than the fact that most of the set wasn't in tune.
I've always thought when you go to see a band, it's really about seeing if they're having a good time.
Yeah, no, I think we definitely have a good time. And it's all pretty organic. I don't think we ever really expected to be in a band. It happens so gradually. We're all kind of just friends who played music together. You know, the first thing you do is like, get a guitar off the walls, have a little strum, knock about some songs, and stuff just happens.
And then all of a sudden you're on tour.
Yeah.
That's cool.
It is great. I think it's just fun. Being in a band is really good. I think like if you start getting sad about going to LA and driving around and going on radio and stuff, it's kind of like maybe don't do it. But it is the best thing in the world. Yeah, you're pretty tired of life
if that's your view. I mean, this is great. We're out in LA staying in the Hollywood Hills. It's amazing.
We tried what was the Panda restaurant?
Panda Express.
Panda Express.
Last night. That was pretty good.
That was
quite
great.
A healthy one, though, I think. Yeah, I think no, you can get super greens.
I mean, it could be tasty, but I don't know if healthy. So what did you get? Did you get like any kind of chicken?
Orange chicken.
Yeah, orange chicken's their big deal.
Well, the one that was so popular, the walnut shrimp, but that seems, I don't know, just doesn't seem like it'd agree with you. Getting walnut shrimp. I don't know, you don't get walnut shrimp from like a chain Chinese takeaway, right?
That's funny. I've had walnut shrimp before. It's pretty tasty. Yeah.
Yeah, well, we'll try it. There's one outside, isn't there? We're sort of planning lunch. There's that, or what else have you got on this campus? There's Pollo Loco. Is that any good?
I've actually never been there.
Yeah?
Yeah, these are all like fast food. Like you come to LA, I'm a little disturbed that you're just hitting the fast food places.
It's also like the most college thing in the world. There's like a coffee shop on this campus as well. Freudian Sip. We kind of like groaned when we saw that. Yeah, it's fun here. It's nice.
And you guys met in university at Cambridge, right?
Yeah.
So what were you going to school for there?
I did history.
I did anthropology.
Are your parents disappointed that you went into a band?
Quietly.
Well, I think it's funny when you talk to your parents because, like, I guess mine and Rob's at least are pretty like professional, like straight down the middle sort of people who. I just don't think they're very supportive, but I don't think there's any kind of point of reference for them about bands, you know? Like my dad will be like, oh yeah, we saw a covers band down at the Bull the other day. It's like they passed a hat round, you know? It's like enjoy tour kind of thing.
So it must be wild though for them to, so you guys are going on tour, you're making money playing
Yeah.
this music. Are
Yeah.
they freaking out about it?
They love it though. They
Yeah,
come,
our
they come
parents
to
do love
gigs
it
in
so
London
much.
and stuff. They really love it.
They come to shows?
Yeah,
They come to shows and
exactly.
they get a bit too excited. But I think it's like, I think you kind of want your parents almost to be that classic, parent who's like, go get a real job. But actually, I think our parents are just sadly super supportive and lovely about the whole thing. And you're like, maybe we need a bit more edge from this. I don't know. But yeah, they come to gigs and you just see them at the back and you're like, oh no, and they're getting closer and closer towards the stage. Alex's mum sort of wades into the mosh pits. And
Yeah, she likes to drink.
Do you guys ever feel nervous at shows? Like, is there a certain crowd that makes you nervous? Is it a huge crowd? Is it a tiny crowd? Are you guys really nervous right now?
Oh, this is quite
He's
intense.
fiddling with his bass.
This is very intense. But I feel like you've got that great demeanour for an interview as well, where you can kind of sit back and like give people enough rope. I feel like you'd
funny.
let me speak for long enough to say something awful.
Yeah, let's get to it.
Yeah. But yeah, we're relaxed. I think that the nervous ones, like, it's never the big ones. I think when you know you're going to have 5,000 people there or whatever, like singing the songs back to you, that's amazing. That's not scary. It's scary that these kind of shows, like first few times we're coming to the US and trying to break it, it's terrifying when you kind of 5 people, chat to them all at the end. That feels scary.
Do you remember the first place you played in the US?
But maybe it was Baby's All Right in New York or something like that. Could have been. I feel like
don't know.
it probably would have been New York. It was probably South by actually. South by Southwest. Kind of thing. I feel like is the first thing a lot of English
yeah, it was
bands
South
do
by.
at least.
It was South by.
Yeah, so it's pretty.
I think we played a cafe. We played an Amy Winehouse tribute show in a cafe, which we thought was in South by, was actually quite far away from South by. And it was just a lot of people having sort of nice, light salad lunches. And then we sort of walked on stage by this guy who was like, well, do you want to say anything? He was on the side, do you want to say anything in tribute to Amy Winehouse? And he was like, what's happening here? What is happening? Then we went on stage next to our like sort of fast and quite loose like, punk set to this group of sort of mourning Amy Winehouse fans. So I don't
Like the candles at the end.
I don't think really was the vibe they were looking for, but
That's funny. So you didn't know it was some type of tribute? Did you do an Amy Winehouse song?
we didn't.
Faster.
We couldn't really play any covers.
Yeah.
And that's sort of why we didn't become a covers band originally.
Yeah.
Don't think we had the talent, the raw talent for that.
I mean, some of them, I lived on Long Island for a little while, and there were some top cover bands. Some people diss cover bands, but like really good
Yeah.
ones. I saw a Rush cover band once, and it just made me realize how much Rush is amazing.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
for people to be able to mimic that is kind of crazy. Do you guys ever do covers on tour?
Yeah, we did.
We did one. We did the Bangles, Walk Like an Egyptian on the last tour. Yeah, that was good.
I saw some post. It was a while ago. Something about Barack Obama and that song. Like he put
Oh,
it on
yeah.
a list.
Yeah, he put it on
Somehow
his
you guys
playlist.
put it like maybe he saw your show.
No,
Yeah,
well,
what?
yeah. Well, you
There
never
was
know.
a joke
It's
about
probably
it.
more
No.
likely. I'm surprised not to see Wet Leg on there, to be honest. But like, yeah, it's a good song. They're a great band. Like the one we kind of got into looking at them a little bit. And so is it Manic Monday? That's the
Yeah.
other big one.
Yeah.
Like Prince wrote that. I had no idea.
Yeah. He's behind some pretty cool songs. I guess we should talk about your album, Gulp. So it's actually really, there's some death in there. What's going on, guys? I know, this is a great quote. This record, I think, is really fun, but everyone keeps asking if I'm okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we did. We wrote a lot of songs, and it was sort of ended up picking a lot of songs that were thematically about death. I guess we kind of writing it over COVID, so that probably crept in from there. But no, I love all that kind of like. I think there's lots of English songs that are kind of dark and depressing. Lots of the Beatles songs and like Always Look on the Bright Side of Life from Monty Python, which are kind of like very upbeat, jaunty songs that are ultimately very dark and depressing. There's this guy called Jake Thackeray, who I love in the UK, who kind of again writes in that sort of English folk style where it's very like almost like comic relief songs. You think it's just like, when I'm cleaning windows, but there's actually like lots and lots of very dark sort of jokes and dark imagery in it. So I guess it was just seeping in from that.
It's kind of your one song, the older song, Here's the Thing. Like originally you're like, if you smile enough, then everybody smiles. So, I mean, the first time you hear that song, you're like, oh, that's so great. And then you're like, by the way, this is all lies.
Yeah.
But I don't know, you guys smile all the time. So it seems
But no one
like
ever smiles with us.
Yeah.
you're smiling alone. Is that the next album title?
Yeah, that's
We
awesome.
Smile Alone.
Well, I think we kind of got a bit frustrated when we first started making music because we saw a lot of bands around us who just took themselves sort of so seriously. It's like get up on stage and pout wear all black and sort of to treat yourself as keep calling yourself a poet. It
Right.
seems a key part of it. And I think so. We always had this, like, we're just like a group of mates. It's like you want to have a laugh. Like being a band's the greatest thing in the world. And then I think if you see that, people are like, oh, well, maybe the music's like that as well. Maybe it's kind of not serious. It's got a bit of a sense of humour to it. But I think as you say, the music does have quite a lot of message in there.
Yeah, and it's kind of juxtaposed with the vibe that's like, yeah. How about, okay, you played a couple other songs. Tell me about The Game, like what that song is about for you guys and how you wrote it.
I think I guess we started out sort of just playing together in a room and playing D and A and E as chords, and that song we added G on the end, so it's sort of
You got a little crazy.
yeah, it got a little crazy, but I think it feels very like the sort of songs we used to write when we were kind of starting out, and you'd go and sit in someone's bedroom and just play as fast as you could on like an acoustic guitar, and just I feel like probably it was the song we almost thought about least when we were writing. It just felt very kind of natural and easy, and you have like a nice chorus where you all start yelling, and then it goes back into the verse, which is just very fast.
You guys have a really nice harmony. I mean,
Yeah?
it really makes you guys, besides the fun of it all, like you guys sound so great together.
Together, it makes one complete voice. If only either one of us had it. Yeah.
It's funny.
Yeah. Well, I think we've sort of wound up always just singing together. We just love it.
That's nice, isn't it?
Do you break into song a lot while you're driving?
Yeah, sometimes.
It's quite like a severe atmosphere in the van and the bus. I think usually it's kind of rage.
Did anyone throw a shoe at you and say like, "Stop it! I'm trying to sleep"?
Sometimes.
Well, we've started using these in-ears now. So if you've got a mic, like everyone else can hear it, and you can kind of tap into people's channels, and people don't like it when we make jokes on that. That's to be quite recital-y. We had a rehearsal last night. It was obviously very late, and everyone's quite jet lagged. I think I might have told too many jokes, which people didn't enjoy.
Okay, what about the song "The Drop"? It starts off, "Oh, Katie died, waiting for the right time to retire." Is this about a real person you know? And
No, I don't think so. I think it's kind of an amalgamation of people you know.
who aren't like they're waiting for something to happen before they do what they want to do.
Well,
Yeah,
I
I
think it's
guess
like
so.
a lot of young people at the moment, I think, feel that. I'm sure it's the same in the US as it is in the UK. You have this kind of social contract, which is like, all right, you start working and you probably makes for a better life for you, right? You get a house and you have a family, whatever it is. And I think there's a lot of people that feel pretty disenchanted by that at the moment. When you do what you're supposed to do, you do the right things and don't get anything out of it at the end.
Yeah, I know. People gotta go for it. People are scared.
Yeah.
Maybe if they listen to your music more, they'd,
Then
let
we could live the dream.
Yeah, that's right. So tonight's your first show on this since coming to the U.S. right now. How long you're playing Gold Diggers in L.A.?
Yeah.
How long are you playing out?
We're doing a few of our own shows. We're in Berkeley on Monday, and then we're doing a few dates at a band called Sunroom as well, who we're looking forward to meeting. That'll be fun. And we're going around Canada too, doing a festival called Rifflandia, which sounds about right. So like Iggy Pop and Paris Hilton are on either side of us, I think, which would be amazing. Yeah, we're really excited.
That's awesome. Well, thank you guys for coming by. Let me put up the new album, Gulp. It is Sports Team. It's been really fun having you. Thanks for coming by and playing these songs. Really fun. And have a great
thanks for having
tour.
us.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Good to meet you.
You too.
Here's the thing. If you smile enough, then everybody smiles. Here's the thing. If you work a little harder, you'll get by. Here's the thing. You can trust a man who wears a suit and tie. So there's lies, 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 lies. Here's the thing. If your parents work through anything, it's yours. Here's the thing. If you're hard to get by, then that's your fault. Here's the thing. Everything in life is fair, that's the rules. It's so there's lies, 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 lies. So you just close your eyes, then everything's alright. If you just close your eyes, then everything's alright. Hey, moral son, now everything's alright. It's all just. Oh, here's the thing. Your wife is much as all the luxury you buy. Here's the thing. The world will be okay if you stop taking flight. Here's the thing. If it change the way you eat, you'll never die. It's all just lies, 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 lies. Here's the thing. Companies care for the people they employ. Here's the thing. Discrimination doesn't happen anymore. Here's the thing. But working hard, you know, it's better for your soul. It's all just lies, 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 and lies. If you just close your eyes, then everything's alright. If you just close your eyes, then everything's alright. Hey, Ma wrote a song, now everything's alright. It's all just. Oh! Try a little hard, little bird. Throw it better than someone else's cash and worms. If you break your little wing, you'll have to learn. It's all just lies, 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 lies. Jesus loves you, the football's coming home. It's just a joke, you know, you'll get it when you're grown. Rule Britannia, you'll never walk alone. It's all just lies, lies, lies. It's all just. Hamming north as far as sword, dear Lord. I'm growing bored of condescending chit-chat. Oh, it's no burning gold, it's guilt I fight.